happens when you compare the biggest country on Earth to a tiny sea fort that calls itself a nation. One spans continents, the other fits in your selfie. This is Russia versus Sealand, the most ridiculous country comparison ever. Let's start with the most obvious difference: size. And believe me, this isn't just a David versus Goliath situation. It's Goliath versus a floating metal shoe rack. Russia is the largest country on Earth, covering 17.1 million square kilometers. It's so big, it stretches across 11 time zones, from Kaliningrad near Poland all the way to Kamchatka near Japan. That's almost twice the size of the entire United States. It contains deserts, tundras, forests, mountains, beaches, and enough snow to keep a Yeti in business year-round. It's basically a continent with a flag. And now, let's talk about Sealand. Sealand is the smallest country you've probably never heard of, unless you watched a conspiracy theory at 3 a.m. It's only 0.00055 square kilometers in size, or in more relatable terms, about half the size of a football field. It's literally an abandoned World War II sea fort sitting off the coast of England. And yes, you can see the entire country in one selfie. No zoom needed. Let's move from land size to people. Russia has millions of citizens. Sealand has a family group chat. Russia's population is around 145 million people as of 2025. It's the 9th most populated country in the world. Its people come from over 190 ethnic groups, speaking dozens of languages. You'll find Orthodox monks, TikTok influencers, cosmonauts, and babushkas who can outfight a bear with a ladle. Russia is also home to giant metro cities like Moscow, 13 mil plus, and St. Petersburg, 5 mil plus, and remote villages with 10 residents and 4 goats. Sealand, buckle up. It has a permanent population of between 0 and 4 people. That's right, on most days, Sealand's population is smaller than a boy band. The official ruling family, the Bates family, claims sovereignty. Most of the time, it's staffed by a caretaker or two who live there to watch for intruders, fix Wi-Fi, and occasionally say, "I am the Navy now." Sealand has so few people, if someone leaves the country to buy milk, the population drops by 33%. Every country needs a government. One runs a superpower with nuclear codes. The other rules from a metal balcony with Wi-Fi problems. Russia is a federal semi-presidential republic, but let's be honest. Vladimir Putin has been the face of power for over 2 decades. President, prime minister, then president again. He's basically on Russia's leadership loop like a YouTube ad you can't skip. Russia has a parliament, the Duma, multiple parties, in theory, and nationwide elections. Putin has a security detail, armored limos, direct lines to world leaders, and possibly more palaces than Disney. Sealand is a self-proclaimed monarchy, not officially recognized by any other country. Its leader is Prince Michael Bates, son of the founder Roy Bates, who declared Sealand independent in 1967 after taking over a sea fort. Their constitution? Written on a typewriter. Their national defense? A few rusty doors and maybe a pellet gun. Sealand has titles like Baron of Sealand, which you can actually buy online for $50. And yes, you can apply to be their ambassador. No experience necessary. Russia has nuclear launch codes. Sealand has a PayPal link and a dream. History shapes nations. Russia's history is a saga of emperors, revolutions, and world wars. Sealand's history is more like a weird Netflix documentary you accidentally binge at 2 a.m. Russia's history stretches back over 1,000 years. It began as Kievan Rus in the 9th century. Then came the Tsars, including legends like Peter the Great and Catherine the Great. In 1917, the Russian Revolution flipped everything. Goodbye monarchy, hello Soviet Union. Russia became a superpower, launched the first man into space, and played a huge role in World War II and the Cold War. In 1991, the USSR collapsed, and modern-day Russia was born. Sealand's history starts in 1967, Yes, it's younger than microwave popcorn. A man named Roy Bates, a former British Army major, took over an abandoned sea fort called Ruff's Tower, located just outside UK waters. He declared it an independent nation, because why not? Sealand has survived a pirate radio war, a coup attempt with shotguns and hostages, and fire damage in the 2000s. They issued passports, coins, and stamps, and once fought off armed mercenaries with homemade weapons and grit. Today, it's still standing. Somehow. Time to talk money. One country controls massive oil pipelines. The other sells barren titles on a website that looks like it was built in 2003. Russia's economy is one of the largest in the world, about $2 trillion GDP. It's built on major industries like oil and gas exports. It's a top producer globally. Metals, agriculture, military tech, and space contracts. It controls a big slice of the world's natural resources, including uranium and gold. Russia trades with dozens of countries, sometimes with friends, sometimes with sanctions. The ruble is its currency, and its roller coaster value could be its own reality show. Sealand doesn't have a real GDP because, well, it's a platform. It survives on merchandise. You can buy official Sealand titles, become a lord, lady, or baron for under $50. It also sells passports, stamps, coins, and mugs. There's no economy of scale because there's no scale. One of their best-selling services? Hosting data servers for offshore clients. That's right. Sealand might store your memes. Russia sells oil to Europe. Sealand sells baronhood to Brad from Ohio. Every country has its own way of speaking, living, and dancing with bears. Let's explore the cultures of a superpower and a sea fort with maybe a podcast. Russia's official language is Russian, using the Cyrillic alphabet. It's spoken by 260+ million people worldwide, including in ex-Soviet states. Russian culture is legendary for classical ballet, opera, and literature. Hello, Tolstoy and Dostoevsky. Matryoshka dolls, vodka, and bears, sometimes all at once. Religion? Mostly Eastern Orthodox Christianity, with golden-domed cathedrals straight out of fairy tales. Russians love chess, ice hockey, and deep philosophical conversations, often while squatting. Russian culture is deep, poetic, and powerful, and sometimes it punches you with poetry while wearing fur. Sealand has no official language, but everyone speaks English. There's no native culture per se, unless you count metal beams, sea spray, and sarcasm. Their traditions are mostly invented. By the Bates family, Royal Sealand Day is a thing. The national anthem, yes, it slaps. In theory. Religion, none officially, but the only holy relic is probably a toolbox from 1968. Culture highlights include occasional news coverage, the ability to grant fake nobility, and responding to emails from people who think it's a real country. Russian culture gave us Tolstoy. Sealand culture gave us a really nice mug. When it comes to defending a country, Russia rolls in with missiles. Sealand just locks the ladder. Russia has one of the largest and most powerful militaries in the world. Over 1 million active troops, thousands of tanks, jets, warships, and a terrifying number of nukes. Home to elite forces like the Spetsnaz, basically Slavic superheroes. Their Victory Day parades, giant tanks rolling through Red Square while jets paint the sky. And if you ever play Risk, yes, Russia's that guy on the board. Sealand's military is, well, one guy with binoculars. Originally guarded by Roy Bates himself with a rifle and a megaphone. In 1978, Sealand actually repelled an armed invasion. No joke. A group of men tried to take over. Roy's son, armed with a shotgun, retook the fort via helicopter. Sealand declared victory and kept going like nothing happened. Current defenses include a locked gate, CCTV cameras, and a really aggressive seagull. When it comes to travel, Russia welcomes millions of tourists each year. Hotspots include the majestic Red Square in Moscow, Hermitage Museum in St. Petersburg, Lake Baikal, the deepest lake in the world, the Trans-Siberian Railway, a 9,000 kilometers journey across 8 time zones, And in winter, the entire country turns into a giant snow globe. There are even guided tours to see bears, hopefully from a distance. Sealand is not exactly on TripAdvisor. Technically, you can visit, but it's complicated. You need permission from the Bates family, a boat ride if the sea's not angry, and a very brave stomach. The tour includes climbing a rusty ladder, drinking tea with the caretaker, taking one selfie that captures the entire nation. There are no hotels, no souvenirs, no bathrooms, just wind, metal, and vibes. Daily life in a country tells you everything. Russia has a huge infrastructure network to match its size. Over 120,000 miles of railroads. High-speed trains like Sapsan metro system so fancy, some stations look like palaces. Nuclear-powered icebreakers for the Arctic. Most people live in modern apartments, but rural areas still have wooden houses with outhouses in winter. True story. Daily life ranges from commuting through snow to gaming in Moscow cafes, and always includes tea. Sealand has one structure, 2 towers, and a flat roof. Power, a diesel generator and maybe solar panels, if it's sunny, and not foggy, and not 1980s tech. Water, bring your own. Internet? Technically, yes. They host data servers there, so maybe your memes live offshore. Daily life? Wake up, check for rust, avoid seagulls, repeat. You cook in a tiny galley kitchen, sleep in a converted bunker, and pray the wind doesn't knock your tea over. Russia has bullet trains and rocket labs. Sealand has a kettle, 2 chairs, and a pretty solid playlist. Global influence. Some countries shape empires, sway elections, and control oil prices. Others send polite emails asking to be recognized by the UN. Russia is a major global player in politics, military, energy, and space. It's one of the 5 permanent members of the UN Security Council. It wields massive soft power through media like RT, energy diplomacy, arms exports, and cyber influence. Hello, keyboard warriors. It has cultural exports like Tchaikovsky, Tolstoy, and hard bass YouTube compilations. Whether it's gas pipelines or veto power, Russia gets heard, whether you like it or not. Sealand has 0 official recognition, not by the UN, not by the UK, not even by Google Maps properly. But that hasn't stopped them from trying. They've offered asylum to internet fugitives, claimed they're the world's safest data haven, and made deals with small startups and indie filmmakers. Their biggest influence might just be becoming a meme legend. Countless YouTubers, Reddit threads, and TikTokers have discovered it and said, "Wait, this is real?" And yes, thousands of people worldwide proudly call themselves Lords of Sealand, even though most of them have never been within 1,000 kilometers of it. So, Russia is a giant with history and power. Sealand is a tiny sea fort with a big attitude. Both show that being a country means different things. If you ever feel small, remember Sealand, ruling with just a ladder and a dream.
Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and tell us, would you visit Sealand or Russia?